Armed gays don't get bashed.
And then guess what? Your fucking ass gets shot.
Gay, lesbian, bi, trans people are not feeling safe since the election. All right? Woo! One more time.
I understand the fear, but guns make you less safe.
I don't think that more guns equal more death. You motherfuckers!
I'm concerned with the political atmosphere, all the hate that's loose today.
Yeah.
And as an openly gay man with a daughter, I'm very concerned. I never wanted a gun. I don't really want a gun, so I think I need to.
You're going to be fine here. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Pink Pistols. We teach people who are part of the LGBTQ community how to shoot, how to purchase a firearm, and how to be safe with it, and how to use it if they need to. In the Sacramento chapter, we have almost 500 people on the meetup list. So, this is my red gun. It is a gun-shaped piece of plastic. So the first rule of gun safety is you're going to treat every gun as if it's loaded, even if you believe with all your heart that the gun is unloaded. Rule number 2 is never allow the muzzle to cover anything that you're not willing to destroy. I want them to feel like no matter what else happens, we're going to keep you safe. Make your fingers straight, okay? It's the only part of you that has to be straight. The rest of you can be whatever you want it to be. But make your fingers straight just for a minute. Okay? What do guns represent for me? Self-sufficiency. I like to be able to do things for myself. And being able to defend yourself, I think, is not only a right, I think it's an obligation. Let's get a few targets up. I'm 62. I've been an out lesbian for 45 years, and I've never had anyone, point a gun at me or say, "You're a lesbian, I'm gonna kill you." But I have had people holler things at me out the window. I've had people drive by real slow, holding their baseball bat in a place where, I could see it. So go ahead and point downrange. Okay. All right. Woo! One more time. We have gotten a large number of people sign up since the election, and from talking to them, I guess it's not really rocket science to understand it, but people are not feeling safe. Because even though we elected the same guy back in 2016, the fact that there are still nearly half the country willing to vote for him in spite of all of the things that he does.
There are only 2 genders, male and female. And we will have no men participating in women's sports, and transgender operations, which became the rage, will occur very rarely.
It makes me feel a little bit like, I don't know, the world is just, I don't even know what the right word is, meaner and scarier.
That was your right there. That was on that last one. Okay. So that at least now you know what you're saying.
1, 2, 3. Having a great time. I love this. This is so much fun.
Woo! Good. Oh, you look like you know what you're doing. Oh my goodness. Woo! I don't want to live in a country where the only people who have power, the power that comes from weapons, sadly, are the ruling class. That doesn't make any sense to me, and I think that that's what the framers of the Constitution were looking to create with that amendment. How are you doing with the recoil? Does that feel?
I didn't like it. I think I need a bigger gun.
You need a bigger gun? Okay,
With
I got
less
you set.
recoil.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you a bigger gun.
Why do you want a bigger gun?
Because it has less recoil.
Go ahead and grab it. Okay? So watch, look where your finger is.
Oh, okay.
Lean forward.
I almost just stayed home today, but something just said, no, go, you paid your $20, just go and have some fun. So I did, and I had fun.
Is it protection? Is it to attack? Is it to...
Just to feel safe, just to feel safe. But I know I also may not be. Somebody could overwhelm me, like 20 different people, and the gun's not going to help.
It's not the only way.
It's not the only way. Try to talk yourself out of it.
You did good.
Okay.
Okay, good. I'm thrilled to be part of a group that teaches gay people how to shoot and then tells the world that they've done it. Because I think that anything that makes the community seem stronger makes us less likely to be targeted by people who are essentially just bullies.
innocent victims. Slaughtered at a gay nightclub.
It's the worst attack in the United States since 9/11.
In the cold light of day, victims were still being removed from Pulse nightclub.
My name is Kevin Herzog, and I'm a co-founder of the organization Gays Against Guns. When the Pulse massacre happened in 2016, 49 people were killed inside a queer nightclub. There was a huge outcry in the queer community.
Tell everybody, we're not going to take it anymore!
We realized that we wanted to respond somehow, and Gays Against Guns was born. One of the things that we felt really strongly about when we first started Gays Against Guns was that we wanted it to have a queer flavor, and we wanted it to be sort of theatrical.
We will someday learn the lesson this catastrophe can teach. We will say goodbye to liars and the hatred that they preach.
So we sort of infuse gun violence prevention with our queerness.
Took the cops a couple of hours to get inside, and people bled out, and I mean, it was tragic. It was truly tragic. If 10% of those people had been armed, those people would have been in there with him and ready to defend.
It wouldn't have been possible if there were no assault weapons. Would a few people less have been shot that night? Yes. But if you take all of the deaths that would occur as a result of all of those people having guns into account, it's exponentially larger. And there was an experiment that was done in the 60s. It's called the weapons effect. You're over 20% more likely to behave aggressively if there's a gun. They've even found that your language becomes more aggressive if there's a picture of a gun. The University of Pennsylvania did a study that found that you are 4.5 times more likely to be shot if you're in an altercation with someone with a firearm if you also have a gun. Guns are the #1 killer of children in the United States of America. Are guns the #1 killer of children in Norway, in China, in Australia? No, because there aren't the same crazy number of guns literally lying around.
If you look at data that's published, a lot of times you see very twisted versions of it, like, if you own a gun, you're more likely to be killed with it than you are to kill an intruder. Well, guess what? My point is not to kill an intruder, it's prevent them from killing me. And a lot of times you can take a gun and have a defensive use of guns, never captured by any data, because all you did was you pulled it out and said, get out of my house or I'm going to shoot you.
Kamala Harris said,
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that.
So that was the candidate that we had who was anti-gun. So there's not a ton of progress. We want somewhere where we can go to the movies, to church, to a gay bar, to a restaurant, and not have to worry about getting shot. I don't think it's that complicated. It seems so crazy to me that we have to think about it.
Can you buy a gun on Amazon?
No.
A handgun?
So you can't buy a handgun on Amazon. You can buy various firearm accessories, a lot of these, but you have to go through a federal firearms licensee to purchase a handgun.
I don't think that more guns equal more death. I fear an escalation of violence because of, increased racist and misogynistic and anti-gay rhetoric. It's because of increased poverty and frustration and disparities. It's for all of the reasons that violence comes about.
I think sometime in 2020, there was a woman that was killed for walking her dog because she was Asian nearby where my mom lived, and that was kind of a wake-up call for me.
It's like we all know that it happens. We know that it's fairly rare. Right? House fires are fairly rare too. I still have a fire extinguisher. I haven't caught the kitchen on fire yet. I'm waiting to use it though.
I understand the fear. It's not without merit. Queer people are more vulnerable. I think the way to make this not be true anymore is to try to gain as much acceptance and rights for queer people as possible and make those slow incremental changes that happen over time.
For gay people who don't like guns, I get you. You know, guns can be very scary. They're associated with terrible things, but I think it's important to recognize the intention behind, you know, the use of it. At least I believe that people do have the right to protect their own lives, to protect their own freedom. And I would never say to somebody who doesn't like guns that they have to get one, and I don't want them to tell me that I can't.
Nothing would please me more than being able to pack everything up and go home because we have solved the issue of gun violence in the United States of America. That would be lovely.